The great fight of lion and tiger. The forest was silent. Not a single bird sang. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of dry leaves and hidden tension. The ground trembled with distant footsteps. A lion emerged from the shadows. His mane glowed like fire under the fading sunlight. Each step was slow, deliberate, full of unshaken confidence. From the other side, a tiger appeared. Orange stripes, black as night, cutting through his body like weapons of nature. His eyes locked onto the lion. The forest seemed to hold its breath. A sudden gust of wind rustled the branches. Dust swirled in the air. The lion let out a low growl. It rolled through the trees like thunder. The tiger answered with a sharp roar, sharp enough to slice the silence apart. Both predators circled each other. Their muscles tensed. The ground crunched under their paws. The smell of wild earth filled the air. The lion's golden eyes never blinked. The tiger's tail flicked with restless energy. The forest grew darker. Clouds rolled above, covering the sun. The world seemed to shrink around them. One wrong move, and everything would explode into chaos. And then, the lion lunged. The tiger twisted, teeth flashing, claws slicing the air. The sound of impact echoed like a drumbeat across the jungle. Leaves shook. Birds burst into the sky. The earth itself seemed alive with violence. The lion's mane tangled with the tiger's striped fur. Their roars collided, louder than storms. Every strike, every claw, every snap of jaws felt like lightning in the darkness. The fight was not just strength. It was survival. It was fire against steel. It was king against king. The forest shivered at the sight. And then something strange happened. The tiger pulled back, eyes wide, as if he had seen something no creature should ever see. The lion froze, breath heavy, staring at the shadows between the trees. Something else was there. Something watching. Something waiting. The tiger's ears flattened. His breath came fast, but it was not from exhaustion. The lion's chest heaved, his eyes refusing to leave the darkness. The fight between them paused, suspended by an unseen force. The forest was no longer silent. It whispered. Leaves rattled without wind. The trees creaked as if something pressed against them. The smell of damp earth grew stronger, mixed with something metallic. A faint sound echoed. Not a roar. Not a growl. It was a low hum, steady and unnatural. The tiger took a step back, his claws digging into the soil. The lion's mane bristled, every strand alive with tension. Both predators, rulers of their kind, now stood side by side, staring into the unknown. A shadow moved. Slow. Deliberate. The air grew colder. The hum grew louder. And then, out of the darkness, two glowing eyes appeared. They were not the eyes of prey. Not the eyes of predator. They were something else entirely. The lion's roar broke the stillness, deep and furious. The tiger answered, his voice sharp as blades. But the glowing eyes did not blink. They only drew closer, step by step, shaking the ground beneath them. The fight between lion and tiger no longer mattered. Something far greater had entered the arena. The glowing eyes drifted closer. The trees bent as if bowing to a force they feared. The lion's tail lashed against the ground. The tiger crouched low, muscles like coiled springs, ready to strike. But neither moved forward. They both felt it. The weight of something beyond the natural. The hum turned into a pulse, steady and rhythmic, like the beating of a giant heart. The forest no longer smelled of earth and leaves. It reeked of iron and smoke. The eyes blinked once. And in that blink, the world seemed to shudder. From the shadows stepped a shape. Its body was massive, taller than either predator, covered in dark fur that glistened as if wet. Its shoulders were broad, its chest heaving with unnatural strength. The lion's roar tore through the air, fierce and commanding. The tiger struck the earth with his paw, sending dust swirling upward. The creature did not flinch. It simply opened its mouth. The sound that poured out was not a roar. It was a screech, high and piercing, a sound that scraped across bone and burned through the ears. The lion staggered back. The tiger snarled, shaking his head as if to drive out the pain. The forest seemed to scream with them. Branches snapped. Birds fell silent mid-flight. The ground split, small cracks spreading beneath their paws. For the first time, the lion and the tiger were not enemies. They stood shoulder to shoulder. Two kings united by fear. The glowing eyes locked on them both. And then, the creature charged. The creature thundered forward. Its body tore through branches as if they were nothing. The lion and the tiger did not retreat. They surged ahead, side by side, with a power that shook the ground. The air exploded with sound. Roars, snarls, and that piercing screech collided into one storm of noise. Claws struck. Teeth sank. Shadows writhed in the chaos. The forest became a battlefield. Dust and leaves whirled like a storm. For a moment, it was impossible to see who was winning. Then, silence. The dust began to settle. The creature was gone. Only claw marks gouged deep into the earth remained, glowing faintly as if marked by fire. The lion stood tall, his mane torn but his spirit unbroken. The tiger's stripes were streaked with blood and dust, yet his eyes still burned with fire. They looked at one another. No growl. No challenge. Only understanding. The forest around them slowly breathed again. Birds returned to the branches. The wind carried away the heavy stench of iron and smoke. The lion turned and walked into the golden light breaking through the clouds. The tiger slipped silently back into the shadows of the trees. The great fight between lion and tiger had ended. But it was not their claws or their teeth that wrote the final chapter. It was the darkness they faced together. A battle that no single king could win alone. And the forest would remember it forever.